It's the Authentic Empress. I'm back. So y'all, you got some energies who you got some energies who feel some type of way about you not being like most guys and you not being like most girls just because of what you look like, and people assuming that you should reflect certain behaviors because of what you look like, because of what you have, because of what you do, because of the attention that you typically get. So, for example, you could be the type of attractive person or good looking person where, yeah, you're good looking, you're used to getting attention from being good looking, but that's not what you aim for when it comes to selecting the people whom you're going to grant exclusivity or grant access in your life. For example, like, you don't want people who are just blinded by what you look like only, or just blinded by what you are able to obtain, what you bring, what you have, what you're capable of doing, your talents, your skill sets, whatever. You don't want people who only want you for that, you know what I'm saying? Or things that are more things that doesn't really reveal. Well, it can, I guess, depending on the person's internal makeup and dialogue. But things that oftentimes will attract people who can't really see you, people who can't really hear you, right? So, for example, how I'm not showing myself on these videos right now, right? There's a lot of people, and I've been dealing with this like just my whole life on social media. There's people, especially like a lot of men and stuff like that, who would flock to my videos and stuff because of what I look like. You get what I'm saying? Like, they don't care what I'm talking about, they just there, to try and flirt, shoot their shot, lust, do whatever. And there's some females, there's some people, and definitely some females and even some guys, who want me to be reduced to my appearance, or want me to feel like, people only fuck with me because of what I look like or what I got, what I do. And there's a lot of us who are familiar with this energy, but the thing is, we don't give a fuck. We don't give a fuck in the way that they give a fuck about that. These are people who they lead with appearances. They lead with their money. They lead with materials and flashy shit. They lead with that to get attention. These are people who are attention seeking in the worst ways, or in distorted ways. You're the kind of person, due to uncomfortable, unwarranted, unwanted experience that you've had with people who are more on the shallow end, on the superficial end of things, right? Those experiences only modified you, or had you modify your moves in a way to limit access to those kinds of people. There's something about you setting intentions and you moving in a way where you have every intention to align with people who actually like you because of your intelligence, or because of your because of good things about you, like your moral standards, and you having amazing ideas, you having amazing views and perceptions, or you being very creative, you being funny, things like that. You rather align or be accepted, or liked by people like that, okay? People who like you on a soul level, on a deeper level that's deeper than what they see outside of you. Those are the people you prefer. Those are people you consider your people. So you don't care, about the fluctuation in like views, comments, attention, conversations, inclusiveness or the lack thereof, you're not the kind of person that can be moved or negatively impacted, affected, or influenced by that like people want you to be. Like people who are that way want you to be, and it pisses them off. It pisses them off that you still have, this confidence behind your walk, this confidence behind, how you carry yourself, this confidence behind your voice, right? There is also, with that, you're also the kind of person where you don't, it's not, you're not somebody that people can really shame or use that tactic against you, okay? People can't really shame you because of how much you love and accept yourself, because of how well acquainted you are with who you are. Like, you know that there are so many things about you that's likable that you like. There's so many things about you that you personally enjoy, that you personally like. You're the type of person you can enjoy your own company. Okay, there may be even this like your scales when it comes to enjoying your own company compared to being around people can be severely tilted, and that's, if anything, that's your challenge. Your challenge your challenge with, the patience that God provides you, and the wisdom with it, is to balance the scales, carefully and strategically and selectively, vigilantly, virtuously. You want to make sure that, whomever your social networking or social, grouping is going to be with, are people who are truly, in alignment, people who can really hold the kind of person you are. Okay, you're somebody with a big heart. You're a person with, a big mind, big dreams. Okay, there's something about you having a lot of great ideas, and you being able to birth so many necessary, essential, like, listen, I'm talking about billion dollar ideas, projects, and aspirations that, that these are not things that you're gonna do all by yourself, but that you're supposed to align with people whom you can share these seeds with. Maybe their passions, their gifts, their talents, their skill sets may align with things that you, just being an, observer of the world, you're able to see, this would, be very conducive if we had something like this. It would be nice to align with somebody who's in that field, somebody who has a passion, an ambition within whatever that is, that idea that I have, just from being somebody who's a part of this world that we're in, and who has a higher perspective and can generate these kinds of ideas, right? It's almost like when you think of your legacy, when you think about a grandmother who has, her children, and her adult children have their children, and their children have children, and so on and so forth. That's kind of what it's like when it comes to, ideas and creativity, creations, projects, all of that, right? We're supposed to be able to have that in our connections overall. We're supposed to be able to have that, like, be a garden amongst one another. It's like a new person you connect with. It's almost like bringing a new plant into the garden. It's like, okay, well, I already got some lemon trees. I got lemon trees. I got blueberry shrubs. I got vegetables growing everywhere. I got apple trees. It would be nice to have a peach tree, right? It would be nice. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. It would be nice to grow some grapes. So it's kind of like that. Like, we're all fruits. We're all fruits, okay? But not every fruit in the world are edible fruits. Not all fruits are fruits that you should consume, or there are even some fruits that you should stay away from. They're just flat out poisonous and toxic, and that's what it's like. This is why we have to, utilize, first of all, develop our discernment and utilize it accordingly, right? Because there will be moments where things are more desolate but there could still be fruits around or like berries that look similar. But you have to understand how to evaluate the plant to know if a fruit is healthy or edible rather than poisonous. Like for example, there's no bugs eating these particular berries. They're staying away from it. There's no bugs gnawing on the leaves, of this particular plant. Why not? There's no animals feeding on this plant. Why not? If the animals and the bugs, if nature ain't fucking with it, then I'm a reflection of nature. Let me not fuck with it as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that, y'all. So there's some people, they want you to feel some type of way, like by, yeah, like, and the best way for me to communicate these messages is to use myself as an example. So there's always an obvious difference, like for the simple fact that I've even shown myself at all on my YouTube platform, and I do messages like these and stuff like that. People who have seen what I look like, especially men and stuff like that, whenever I'm not showing myself, it's like I don't know, there's a clear, difference in the views and stuff, and I think that's a good thing, because I don't need nobody over here with the wrong intentions. That's the good thing. And the way I was raised up, I'm the type of person. There's this song they used to sing in the church I grew up in. If I can help somebody, then my living shall not be in vain. Don't underestimate that one person, those two people, those 5 people, those 10 people, those 30 people, like compared to thousands and hundreds that, don't underestimate what you are birthing if you're able to help one person, bro. Okay? And don't be deceived by the outer, of whomever that person is. It's almost like a fruit tree, a tree that's genuinely fruitful, being in a season of it being barren. Okay, it's just in a season of being barren. That's just the season that it's in. Or, so many people have taken all the fruits or whatever, all the fruits have been distributed. You just have to wait for more fruits to grow. You know what I'm saying? But just because that tree may look barren at the time, that tree could be an apple tree in the season of spring. You get what I'm saying? So you never know what season, somebody is in whom God aligns you with, but God knows, right? God knows. And that's why obedience is key. You're the type of person, you're going to obey God before you obey people's standards of how you should be and how you should present yourself. Listen, as long as I'm getting on here providing substance and telling the truth and speaking facts and dropping gems and doing my part, okay, doing my contributions when it comes to coexisting with the divine, I did my part. I'm satisfied and I will be rewarded accordingly, right? And that's the type of mindset that whoever this message is for, that is the type of mindset you have. You're not showing yourself, especially if this has something to do with social media or whatever. You're not showing yourself with the intent for people to just, oh, look at that person. Oh, they look nice. Oh, they look good. Oh, damn. Like, if anything, if you really are somebody who naturally, like, you just look good, you know what really comes with that. Motherfuckers who got to go above and beyond to seek that type of attention based on appearance, they're not used to being a naturally attractive person, because there's pros and cons that come with that energy. Damn, not everything is pros that come with that. And it's sad because then you got people out here who's not really used to that even try to benefit when they do experience a con, or they would even fabricate cons just to fit in with the people who generally do face dangers that they shouldn't have to face, because people being fixated on what the fuck they look like. Like, what the hell? And I'm not even, and to be more realistic, we understand you can even have a spiritual beauty about you. You know what I'm saying? People will respond the same way when it comes to your spiritual beauty, when it comes to the beauty of your heart, the beauty of your mind. You will experience the same shit that a person who is beautiful yet pure hearted will experience from creeps. You will experience the same shit. So that's the point. Okay? Like, as long as you feel safe, as long as you're having fun, you're enjoying yourself, you feel loved, okay, by yourself and by God, okay, it's inevitable for you to attract love and, in anybody or just in people, places, and things. That's inevitable. So these illusions that people invest in for you to feel like you need to do something that you just don't want to do. Like, what the hell? Or you should have to engage in behaviors that's outside of what's in alignment with you at the moment. Okay, just because of societal standards and expectations. It's like, I don't live for that. I don't live for that shit. I live according to my authenticity. Period. Okay? So, yeah. But it pisses them off because this is something that they're typically able to triangulate with people. You know what I'm saying? They can't use that with you. Like, if you're experiencing anything where it requires like vulnerability because you're able to be a safe space for yourself. You know how oftentimes like we want to be able to be vulnerable with a person outside of us that we can trust. We can trust them with our information. We can trust them with whatever we share, yada yada yada. It's crucial to be that person for yourself because you're going to have moments where you won't be able to depend on another person for that. Or that person at any moment can switch up on you. You know what I'm saying? Or use something that you shared with them for leverage. Or even try to kick you while they think you're down. Just because you're experiencing something vulnerable, that doesn't mean you're down. You get what I'm saying? Like, what the hell? Like, but there's people who they develop like their ego gets boosted off shit like that, and they think because you're being vulnerable that means that they get to now treat you in a manner of how they would generally treat somebody who they perceive like that, or how society perceives a person like that who's being vulnerable. But these are the type of things that cannot be used on somebody like you because that's how deep your confidence runs. That's how deep your self-acceptance and your self-love runs. It's truly something marvelous. It's truly rare. Like, don't sleep on that. Don't sleep on that about yourself, or don't sleep on the power of cultivating that within yourself, because it will be something that people try to toy with. People will try to toy with that because these are the kind of behaviors that break them. These are the kind of behaviors that weaken them, make them feel insecure, make them feel less than, make them want to hide and da 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 da, whatever the case may be. Like, no, for what? And you know what you're simultaneously doing by this boldness, this courage, this confidence? Like, it's like you're inspiring people. You're inspiring people to feel like, damn, well, I don't have to be superficial. I don't have to, put on a front and lie and project something about myself that's not true just to avoid embarrassment and humiliation and da 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 da. Like, you're actually boosting other people's confidences by being confident in whatever circumstance. It doesn't matter what it is. But that's the thing. Like, somebody thought that your self love could be removed if other things in your life was removed, if a lover was removed, if a friend was removed, family was removed, money was removed, stability was removed, attention was removed, support was removed, blah 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 blah, job was removed. This Somebody thought that your confidence and your self-love was literally fueled by these things alone. They truly underestimated your confidence being coming directly from source, coming from God. You love yourself because God loves you. Period. You love your It's almost like you obviously having a talent, and because other people are not supporting the talent, but you know you got the talent, there's evidence that you have the talent, but because a lot of people don't support it, it's like somebody wants you to think that you're not talented. What? Okay, like it's crazy. It's crazy. But I don't know. See, again, that it doesn't work on you. And how do you break through stuff like that? As difficult as it may be for some people, the way to break through illusions about yourself and about people, places, and things, you have to be bold enough to embrace truth at all costs or at any cost. Embrace truth of self. Embrace truth of self. Because then you won't be blind to yourself. What do I mean by that? You know how some people can be blind, like when it comes to singing, thinking that they can sing, but they actually can't sing. Okay, instead of being realistic, instead of having people they're connected to, being honest with them, they actually cannot sing. You get what I'm saying? And it's almost like, Lord have mercy, I ain't gonna do him like that. Because I want to say that he's continued to invest in that, and some people will say that he's doing better. I haven't listened to his music in so long, but when Ice JJ Fish first came out, and he had that song, "There's something about you, girl, that made my head wanna twirl," and how he was dancing and shit. Yeah, he was dancing, bro. But it's kind of like that. Um, Again, that's not something that can be used on you because you don't acquaint yourself with liars, and you certainly don't do it intentionally. So the moment that you detect that a person is just deceptive, like is whom they choose to identify themselves, or closely associate themselves with the spirit of deception, and it's obvious, or anything that's related to deception by any means, you don't give that person too much power to dictate anything about you or over your life. What? You're a thief. What are you talking about? Okay? You're a pathological thief. You're a pathological liar. Okay? You're a pathological, something toxic and low vibrational. I've seen it, I've witnessed it. Why would I give you the power to dictate anything about me? Why would I trust that anything coming out of you is credible? You get what I'm saying? Like it's literally like that. So yeah, like if somebody has lied about you, lied on you and stuff like that, you don't give a damn about who they gossiping about you. You don't care what them folks talking about. If you have already gotten evidence that these people are willing to lie and do anything at all costs, you feel me? Just to commit some type of evil act. Why would you give these people power over you, like to dictate who you are? You get what I'm saying? Like that makes no sense to me. That makes no sense to me. That will only make sense to a weakened soul like them, But you're not that. You're not that. I pray that you're not that. I pray that you never let anybody reduce you to, that type of scum energy, because it's really not worth it. It doesn't matter how they dress it up. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's not, because you understand that's a whole new vulnerability when you get way too acquainted with just being a liar. That's a whole new vulnerability that you're unlocking there, because man, you put yourself in obvious danger. Like you're in danger at all times. You have to look over your shoulder at all times. You get what I'm saying? Like it's one thing to be one with the divine and embrace authenticity and truth, and you don't have to play you don't have to play with demonic means or manipulation or arts to get through life or to get over on people or to obtain things. Because even when people are trying to fearmonger you or do things outside of you who are of evil energy, you don't have to be paranoid and fearful and shit like that and look over your shoulder because of who protects you, because of how much protection you have. Like these people thought that they was going to be able to do that to you. No, nope. It don't matter what the circumstances are. Like all things are working together for my good because I love God. I mean, and I love myself. Okay, like what the hell? It don't matter if my hair is short, if my hair is long, if I'm bald headed. It don't matter if I'm fat, if I'm skinny, and I love myself. What are we talking about? I love my life. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for my life. I am grateful for my life. I'm grateful for myself. I'm grateful for God for giving me life. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for having a sound mind. I'm grateful for being in my right mind. Like none of these things have taken away my mental health. None of these things have deteriorated my health. None of these things have distorted my emotions so much so that I'm willing to engage in degradation behaviors. None of these things. There is a scripture that says, I am convinced that none of these things shall separate you from God. None of these things have separated me from source. Nothing that was separated from me, that I was separated from, has separated me from source, from God. That is the greatest fortune of all time. Even when I got billions of dollars, even when I don't have nothing, I already have the greatest fortune of all time. And that's being one with source. That's being one with the divine. That's being tapped in. That's having the knowledge and the wisdom of nature and how I'm a reflection of nature, meaning I am just as abundant as nature. Period. That even nature has areas that are desolate. And even in those desolate areas could a cactus grow filled with water. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? So these people underestimated your faith. These people underestimated the truth of who you've been proclaiming. Period. You've been affirming, you've been proclaiming your identity for the longest. And these people just thought that it was superficial like them. It was nothing short but a portrayal of an image. Because that's their lives. That's how they live their lives. You're not them. And it's sad because what's being exposed is how they literally deceive one another every day. Every day that they spend with each other, laughing about shit that ain't even funny, plastic smiles, you know what I'm saying? Having to steal, kill, and destroy to obtain shit, obtain certain lifestyles and surgeries and clothes and materials and whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's sad. It's sad. It's sad because it's like I'm hearing in that song "Pound Cake" by Drake and Jay-Z in the beginning of the song, the guy was like, "Only real music's gonna last. All that other bullshit is here today and gone tomorrow." Cake, 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 cake. I want a pound cake, whatever he said. That's upside down cake. Yo, like, but that's what it's giving. Like, only real music's gonna last. All the other shit is here today and gone tomorrow. Okay? Like, I had a client this morning and they was playing like a lot of like old, like throwback gospel. I was like, yo, look at the divine ministering to me. Like, yo, like y'all playing some childhood staples. Like, this is crazy. And we was talking about people like Kurt Franklin, Hezekiah Walker, Smokey Norfolk, Yolanda Adams, basically people who are memorable, who are legendary, people who, you know, their creations, you know, are going to outlive many generations, basically. Like, it's going to outlive them. Things that they've cultivated through their talents and their intentions, their good intentions and their consciousness of God, that can actually set people free and heal people and get people through rough times and hard times. Okay, that can minister to people, lift people out of dark spaces. Songs that they've made decades ago. Fred Hammond, you know, stuff like that. This is the kind of essence and energy that anointed beings, regardless of what your walk may look like, regardless of wherever God plugs you at, to generate or to spread your power. That's the essence of your energy. And so again, I just got done talking about, how people thought even your silence or your absence was going to benefit them or be at your own detriment. No, it's still an advantage for you. Okay? For example, it's like when those people that I just mentioned, if you hear, what's a good one? If you hear, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. It won't work. No weapon formed against me. And I'm trying to sing it the way that Fred Hammond said. And that's the thing, the way that their voices are, their essence, every bit of how they are. You feel me? You don't need Fred Hammond to be in the room with you for you to be able to access that song. You know what I'm saying? And feel all the feels and be lifted up. That is what it's like. Okay, whatever conversations you've had with people, whatever things that you've shared, whatever memories, pleasant memories, real talks, vulnerable moments, okay, that was out of purity equally, okay, whoever, those moments never leave people. So even if people push you out of environments, like a particular person, because they just can't stand how people, they can't stand how people love you, they can't stand how people like you. Why that bitch? Why that bitch? Why not me? Type of people. Oh my God. Like, just because you're no longer talking to somebody, dealing with somebody at a place anymore, in a particular environment, they can't erase the energetic imprint that you've already left on those people, places, or things. They can't erase that. You know what I'm saying? And this is why I say there will be many people literally fighting the memory of you. You're not even there anymore. You're not there. You're not involved. You're not participating, and people are still battling the memory of you. They can't get somebody to fully submit to some type of illusion because that person is stuck on the memory of you. They're stuck comparing whatever somebody's trying to present to them as good, or they trying to make it look good and stuff like that. You don't want this pussy. You still not gonna let me hear. You blah, 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 blah. That person stuck on you, stuck on what they looking at the presentation like you know, they got the presentation of who you are in the back of their or the forefront of their mind. They just like looking at what's in front of them like it really be like that. Or if somebody's trying to get somebody to go against their laurels, go against their morals, they're thinking about a moral conversation that they had with you. Like, you know what? Such and such, I remember when I did that before and I talked to such and such about it and they said this and you know what, they was actually right. I didn't even tell them like all this part and they called it out. Like, you know what, I should probably make a better decision. Yeah. Um Now I'm hearing that song. I just really hope that you think of me. I just really hope that you think of me. Because there's somebody who's trying to be unforgettable. You're unforgettable listen, you don't have to try to be unforgettable. It just happens. It just comes with who you are because of the sincerity of your energy. You're sincere with people, with how you handle people. You're sincere. You're just truly being yourself. And a part of being yourself is there's a divine essence to it. There's something needed that people need, people desire. Okay? It's like you being the missing puzzle piece to a puzzle that somebody's been spending some dedicated time to putting together, and then somebody done hide you or try to throw you away. Okay, so they figure out They trying to figure out how to complete the puzzle. And then you got people who just come in with these puzzle pieces from a whole different puzzle, trying to give these pieces to a person, you know, to complete a puzzle that they're working on, and none of those pieces match that puzzle. It don't even come with it doesn't even come from the puzzle box that they're working on. And they're trying to get somebody to force fit a puzzle piece that don't belong. That's literally what it's like. It just don't fit. They just don't fit. Okay? And ain't that ironic? Mm. These people didn't want you to fit in, okay? Or they wanted you to feel excluded and stuff like that. But you're already, Lord, it's like the scriptures say, you're set apart. You're set apart. It's like the puzzle that the person is working on where you're the missing piece. These people don't even have access to that puzzle. This person done got this puzzle from goddamn. They done, they done got this puzzle from, I don't know, like some special sacred place. Like this a different type of puzzle. Like this puzzle, hey, this puzzle comes from God. This puzzle, hey, the imagery, like can't just anybody create this imagery. Like what? They just got them little $2, $5 puzzles. You know what I'm saying? Like they don't even have the ability to obtain the puzzle that the people that you align with has been granted with by the divine. So it doesn't matter what their unsound counsel, intentional bad advice, okay? It's not going to fit. It's not going to fit. Even if the person tries to force fit that piece in their puzzle, you get what I'm saying? It's not going to sit right with them. And it's like eventually, things will grow lackluster and things will, they will get irritable, frustrated, or they will just not want to have anything to do with it. That's pretty much how it goes. So whether it's a short game or a long game, it's going to always work out to the benefit of the person who remains divine, who remains intact with their own divinity. Absolutely. And you can't allow these temporary interferences. I don't care if the interference seems like it's years or what. You can't allow interferences like that to deter you from who you are, because even though it may interfere with people and places and things outside of you, it doesn't necessarily interfere with you as long. I'm not saying that it doesn't interfere, it doesn't bother you, it doesn't throw you off for a moment, but not as long as it will the people that was manipulated outside of you, or the people, places, and things that were manipulated against you. It's going to create interference that are longer in duration with those things, with those people, than it is you. And that's just that. Because it ain't nothing for God to give you a new puzzle, for God to complete your puzzle, for God to give you a new piece or recreate you into another piece for another puzzle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really that simple, though. It's really that simple. You yourself, you are sacred geometry. And when you think about the science experiments, like with water and plants, and when you speak positively or you speak high vibrational language to it or toxic language, and how it affects the crystallization of the water, for example, eventually people who are being fed polluted waters or like manipulative emotions with ill intentions and things like that, that person's going to get sick. They're going to grow sick and tired of themselves, or they're going to grow sick and tired of whoever is trying to feed them pollution of any kind. That's just how it goes. Hey, hopefully they get themselves out of it in time, and begin that detox. Because one thing about your body is inclined to detox itself in general. Whether that's you breaking out and having acne, and that bacteria is trying to get out your skin, get out your body. Whether you got to pee, poop, okay, vomit, your body is always actively trying to detox. Okay? So what happens if there's extreme obstruction? You become diseased. Things begin to break down, and you may even risk losing your life. That's what it's like, okay, when it comes to people who are toxic. I don't care how long it may seem that they're trying to make something toxic seem like it's the right decision. It's going to make them sick, and it has the possibility to even kill them, and for some people it does. So don't ever be deceived by the illusions and people's magic tricks, okay? Because divine being, listen, if you're supposed to, spiritually be an empress, an emperor, okay, king, queen, Hierophant, high priestess, you know there's going to be jesters that try and entertain you just so they can get in the palace. Just so they can get in the palace. Just so they can say they was in that motherfucker. I was in that bitch. Look, selfie. I mean, I don't necessarily have the credentials to sit on the throne and, and remove the actual empress, emperor, king, queen, Hierophant, priestess off the throne, but I was in that bitch. Look at that. Look at the oh Lord. Look at the hieroglyphs behind me in my selfie. I was in there. Look, I got some of the dirt off the land of the palace. I got some of that. I got some of that dirt. No, this is not the dirt outside of the fence. I got this dirt from inside of the fence. Like, what are you talking about? Look at it. Glitter. Like, come on. All right, y'all. Let me not keep yapping and stuff. Certified yapper. Shaking my head. All right, y'all. I'll see you guys in the next video.